this is a wall of ignorance, which is put up by media, shows that want to depict black people on one side and white people on another side. It's the wall of ignorance. Black people think, oh, white people this, oh, they got it too easy over there, oh, whitey this, whitey that, which is not true. White people think, oh, black people got it too easy, they can do this, they can do that, I got it, blah, blah, which is also not true. The key lies in education. Once we change the Board of Education's curriculum or criterion, what they're teaching us, then of course we'll have this hand-in-hand, so to speak, unity amongst humanity. But until we're gonna talk about issues like Howard Beach or issues like Bensonhurst, these things come up in the news all the time. You never really hear about a show we did in Compton, which was like 4,000 gang members and not one speck of violence, not one argument.
Hip-hop legend KRS-One, in an interview that aired in the 90s, is going to show how media will spin a narrative to dissuade their audience from class consciousness.
I submit to you that you're going to have to get people like Jay-Z, Kanye West, all of these gangster rappers to knock it off. That's number one.
What I think these boys need is, they need positive role models, which you said.
Listen to me. You got to get where they live, all right? They idolize these guys with the hats on backwards and the terrible rap lyrics and a drug and all of that. You got to get these guys, and I think President Obama can do it. And you got to put them on TV and the net, and they got to say, knock it off.
Well aware, by the way, that Kanye line by Bill O'Reilly did not age well. Let's be very clear about that. But it was rather important at the time.
There are companies now, retailers, are banning the Confederate flag. Now, some of these same retailers, for example, Sears, Walmart, Amazon, eBay, and the rest of the retailers in the last 24 hours have announced that they intend to discontinue sales of the Confederate flag. I have a question. Can you still buy a Jay-Z CD at Walmart? Does the music department at Sears have any Ludacris albums? Can I download 50 Cent on Amazon? Can I do that? Can I get some Snoop Dogg albums on eBay? Now, why do I say that? Because a lot of music by those artists are chock full of the N-word, by the way, and the B-word, and the H-word, and racist, misogynist, sexist, anti-woman slurs. None of those retail executives would be caught dead using. As we all know, the president, he likes Jay-Z, invited Jay-Z, Beyonce, their music royalty, to the White House, apparently dozens of times. Prince performed, I guess, last weekend or the weekend before. Beyonce's used, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Linda, doesn't she use the B word in reference to women?
She does indeed.
She has a whole song about that, doesn't she? No. Well, maybe we should consider banning that, too.
This is exactly what KRS-One is speaking on, and also why outlets like Fox News in the States, OAN, Newsmax, Real America's Voice, which is run by Steve Bannon, I believe, and even across the globe like GBN News and Sky will never discuss this.
Imperialism, colonialism. This causes violence in every colony. Every colony is going to have this kind of threat with it because of the nature of the colony, the birth of the colony. Colonialism tries to make robbery, theft, and murder normal. We're living in robbery, theft, and murder right now. Right now, as we speak. You walk outside the door, if you really want to know the history of England, okay, if you really want to know how this place became what it is, okay. So this is a colony. This is not civilization. We may call it that because we have lights and computers and cars and planes, but that's technology. Civilization is something completely different. If we were living in a civilization, then you could ask the question, why are we all killing each other? We live in a civilization. No, we live in a technological colony.
And with that, this is something that News Corp, Murdoch's company, will never discuss and will never elevate the voices of who are saying this because they go against corporate interests.
Racism, we are not cured of. And it's not just a matter of
it not being polite to say in public, that's not the measure of whether racism still exists or not. It's not just a matter of overt discrimination. Societies don't overnight completely erase everything that happened 200 to 300 years prior.
Touchy deal here. Was it necessary?
We're talking about the President of the United States using the N-word bill. He has really dragged in the gutter speak of rap music. So now he's the first president of rap, of street. I mean, come on. He has lowered the stature of the high office of the President of the United States. This is all a distraction, grand distraction to take away from the people uniting, and then the President-in-Chief, the rapper-in-chief, now is further dividing our country.
Because to be clear, KRS-One and his direct frame of mind is a threat to these news organizations.
They think it's all about money. And in a civilization we're living in, I think it's not enough for black people to know who they are. It's more if white and black people know who black people are. That's where the key is. We have so many problems trying to get our records played just because we want to say something. When I was saying nothing, when I was my first album called Criminal Minded, I had an album out. It was a couple of records called Poetry, a couple of other songs, Elementary. Those songs were getting played because I was the regular rap artist. I had just broke into the industry. I was talking about, you know, the regular stuff. I'm the greatest, blah, 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 blah. I got played all over the nation. The minute I opened my mouth and said, stop the violence, the place stopped. And it just goes to show the kids want to hear it. Adults want to hear it. People all over the world want to hear it. Why isn't it? Why is that? Why is it not getting played?
There's no question that people of faith are being marginalized by a secular media and pernicious entertainment. The rap industry, for example, often glorifies depraved behavior, and that sinks into the minds of some young people, the group that is most likely to reject religion.
On that point about rap music from Bill O'Reilly and the like, KRS-One is going to show the differences between hip-hop and rap music.
What don't you like about the direction of rap right now?
Well, I think, actually, when it comes down to rap, I think that a lot of people are, they're concentrating on rap and they're not concentrating on hip-hop. Hip-hop is a culture, a way of life, a way of thinking. Rap is, should I say, a deviation of that, or should I say a mutilation of that. Hip-hop as the culture gives you graffiti art, breakdancing, fashion, language, rap music, but people are not concentrating on hip-hop. They want more of the rap, and I think there needs to be more of a balance. That would be it for me.
Yeah, okay.
I double down on this. KRS-One, let me be very clear, ill lyricist, ill MC, bridges over one of the best disses of all time. But as I have seen throughout, there are going to be hiccups, there are going to be mistakes. If you know, you know. But what really gets me is how Sean Hannity, as we covered in a previous clip, and others within the right-wing media orbit will really attack his character, will attack his lyrics, will say that he is glorifying violence, the same way Bill O'Reilly did it with Dame Dash and Cameron in a viral clip that we have gone over a few different times as well. It is because they want to paint them as the enemy. They want to try and convey to their audience that these people are the target. You should hate them. You should bash them. They have a direct influence on you, on your community, on your kids, on your family. You need to stop that immediately, when really it is this artistic beauty that always drew me to stuff like this, as you see on my wall. Stuff hasn't changed for a while, whether it's the beats, the rhymes, the engineering, the creativity, the flow, the way that they operate in the space has left a lasting impact on me. What they are doing is trying to show and paint the picture of their surroundings and how a lot of the time they were put in positions to fail because of what governments have done to their cities, to their neighborhoods, to their city councils, etc. So that is why so many on the right will attack hip-hop. I remember seeing Judge Jeanine Pirro, now for some reason once again elevated by the Trump administration to serve as counsel, and many others on that desk, including Jesse Waters, attack Kendrick's performance at the Super Bowl. Why? You now have your answer. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/tytsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.